Today I am sharing some meals that I like to make in the springtime because they are affordable, they use some of the fresh spring ingredients, and they're just ones that my family enjoys. So come along as I share some more inexpensive, some fun little treats as well, and some meals that your family will enjoy. Springtime is upon us and the flowers are blooming and trees are budding, but I am working on the kitchen today because I am doing many days of meals that our family ate in the past week or so, because I thought, why not bring you along on kind of what a week looks like for us with some meals. There's some night meals, there's a couple weekday meals, there's some that used some store-bought items, there's one that is a tradition that we have on Sunday nights, so you're just getting the whole gambit here. But I am starting off this morning that I am baking with some sourdough sandwich bread. I have been making the boule bread for sourdough lately, but I wanted to get back to the sandwich bread because springtime means a lot more sandwiches for us. We're going places a little more. It's just more convenient when we're outside to hop inside and have an egg salad sandwich or some meat sandwiches or peanut butter and jelly. Why not? So I am doing a half einkorn flour, freshly ground, that I do because I have a wheat grinder, and a half white unbleached flour that I get from Azure Standard. So the einkorn flour, I actually used more, probably 3/4 cup einkorn flour, or 3/4 of the flour was einkorn flour compared to the ratio of the white flour. So I do not have any recipes on my blog for this bread yet. It may be something that comes. I've been really just hit and miss on what breads I make and trying other people's recipes and tweaking them myself. So that may be something that will be coming your way in the future, just not at this point. So while the bread mixes for probably about 8 to 10 minutes, I am whipping up one of our weeknight meals of some baked oatmeal and an egg bake. It is egg season. The hens are laying prevalently, and so we have lots of eggs that we get around this parts. So I am making a baked oatmeal with applesauce and some pears in there actually. And I'm using some leftover whey that I got from making homemade Greek yogurt, which you'll see me make that too because I use Greek yogurt in so many different recipes that I made in this video. So whey is a great alternative to using your milk because I like to prioritize our milk for drinking or even my lattes or in other things, and the whey is great for adding to smoothies or this meal, for instance. So on this particular night, we have breakfast in the evenings. So my themes for weekday meals, which has helped us for many years now, is to have many days out of the week be kind of a themed. So Monday nights are your kind of traditional American foods or a pasta or something. So an example of a Monday night meal would be some meat, some potatoes or rice, and some vegetable. So that's kind of a Monday night meal. Tuesday nights are always Mexican style, whether it's tacos or taco skillet bake, which I have over on my blog, some chili in the winter, white chicken chili or regular dump chili. Those are all on my blog too, by the way. Wednesdays are breakfast night, so this is a Wednesday I was filming, and they alternate between waffles, pancakes, baked oatmeal, French toast to bake, biscuits and gravy. Lots of choices for that Wednesday night option. Thursdays are typically like an Italian style meal or something, again, more American. So something of the sort like a pasta or goulash, which is a pasta, or tuna casserole, or sometimes that's our like meat, potato, veggie that I make. But Friday then is always pizza night, which I shared recently a cheeseburger pizza recipe over on my blog and here on YouTube that you can check out that my family really loves. All right, so back to this meal. We had been given some sausages, so I'm putting that in there. I had some peppers frozen in the freezer that I tossed in there as well. So I'm being pretty frugal with my recipe because it's a lot of things. I mean, I didn't go buy anything for all of these meals. Everything I already had in my pantry or in my fridge. If you're a coffee drinker, this is a fun treat or fun syrup to make for springtime, a honey lavender syrup. Lots of coffee shops this time of year have this syrup for you to use or make in your lattes, but I have been making this for several years now on my own because I have dried lavender that I really like. I have a good bulk supply of honey that I get and water. That's it. So let it simmer and steep for a while, then you strain it off and you get your syrup. I store it in the fridge and use it throughout the weeks that come. And it's such a fun treat to have. So much more affordable than stopping at a coffee shop to purchase one of those lovely tasting drinks. And so why not just make it yourself? You can buy the lavender from almost anywhere. I got mine on Amazon. I'm sure you can get it from Azure Standard, Whole Foods. I don't even know, maybe Walmart even sells it in their grocery area. Not sure about that, but it's just so yummy and delicious that it's worth making. And then I make that in my coffee maker and froth my milk. And then I like to even sprinkle a few little pieces of the dried lavender on top and soak that in during the nap time where the kids are resting and enjoy that lovely drink. So here you're seeing me prep my Greek yogurt. So we do get raw milk that we have been getting probably for about 5 years now. So I just make half gallon worth of Greek yogurt. You can use it with store-bought milk. You can make this recipe. I've done that before. And so that was being prepped. And then my husband was filming me getting our supper meal cut up and plated up for the kiddos. By the way, this doesn't have to just be an evening meal, but it's great for breakfast too. I make enough that we can have leftovers for breakfast in the morning, and the kids love it because baked oatmeal or waffles or pancakes are not something we have obviously every breakfast because we have them more in the evenings than for breakfast time. All right, so the yogurt had reached its temperature and come back down. Then I added the culture, which is my yogurt, Greek yogurt I had left over. I wrap the container and let it sit through the night. So on the next day, I am now getting my bread in the bread pan because that also needed time. So a lot of these meals, you will notice, they just take a little forethought and a little prepping, but they are very affordable. And if you can just plan ahead a little bit, you will be on key and on point. Speaking of eggs, these eggs were actually hard-boiled from Easter. So again, another savvy way to use your eggs. We didn't dye these ones. I had extra ones that I hard boiled. So the dye on the egg seeped through a lot of the ones the kids looked for and dyed. And so I actually just tossed those because I didn't want to be eating food dye with seeping through. So this is a simple egg salad recipe. And here you see I'm using that Greek yogurt again. I typically have mayo or can make mayo, but I did not. This was just a quick alternative, partially because we were having plumbers working on our basement and they were plumbing actually the sink right next to me. So some of this filming here was not the best quality. We even ended up using paper plates because they turned the water off for the entire day, but just life. So I'm just showing you real life here and meals we make. But the egg salad is on my blog, davyKillian.com. The bread is done, and I am happy with how these beautiful loaves turned out, and they are delicious because we end up having some loaves of bread or some slices of bread with butter with our next meal on that evening, which is a split pea and ham soup. So my kids really like this one, but a lot of people don't like how it looks. So it is green. It doesn't look the most appetizing. It's got some veggie chunks. I don't chop my vegetables super small because my kids are just used to how I serve it up, and they're not super particular or picky about that. Sometimes they're hit and miss on certain vegetables, like a couple kids are particular about larger chunks of mushrooms. And they have to at least try it once, and if they don't prefer it, then we let them avoid it. But I feel like the more they try it, the more they like it. I've had a kid who really disliked a lot of vegetables, and now they love them because we just let them try them. So the soup is simmering on the stove, and then we add the ham. Now, again, Easter ham. I hosted for Easter, and I had a massive ham, so I froze some ham and put some in the fridge. So this was a great way to use some of that ham. So again, another savvy way in saving some money by using your foods in multiple meals. That's just a tip, is to use foods many different ways. Meat particularly, getting the whole chicken, the whole ham, and just freeze some, use some in one dish, change it up into another dish the next day. And I do buy bulk often because we are a family of 6, so we definitely work through the foods more than we used to, obviously, with a smaller family. But this is a great meal that my family really enjoyed to have on a chillier spring day. This was a quick meal to whip up. This was another one where I had frozen store-bought wheat hamburger buns in the freezer. I had some pulled pork that I had used for another event stored in the freezer. I pulled it out, and all I did was cut up some cabbage, carrots, make a coleslaw with a yogurt, apple cider vinegar dressing, a little dried mustard, salt, pepper, and a little maple syrup to sweeten it. And voila, I had my coleslaw to go with some pulled pork sandwiches. And we even used some store-bought chips because guess what? Some days get busy when there's construction, when you're out for the day and then you need to come back. And we had just a single guy who needed to stop by that day and needed a meal. And so we served up that meal for him and our family, and it served us well. It was nutritious, some homemade, some not. And I think that's okay sometimes, to be okay with not always having everything homemade, and it was still delicious. So this is one of the meals I said is a tradition for us. We have smoothies and popcorn on Sunday nights. So this is a Sunday night that we are making, and in my smoothies, I often will add riced cauliflower, and I put bananas. This was a banana peach mango smoothie. I get my bulk mangoes from Azure Standard. You can find the link in the description box so that you can check out what they have, because they have so many great frozen items, fresh items, feed for animals if you've got animals, nutrition products like supplements. So definitely check out Azure Standard for you and your family. Then I add this whey protein powder that has been my favorite for the past several years. I use it in the smoothies. I also use it in my protein balls that I make weekly as snacks for my kids and myself, being a nursing mama. But anyways, smoothies getting made. And then I'm getting some help from my husband and the little boy, because Whirly Pop popcorn is what we make along with the smoothies. This Whirly Popper is something I grew up with in my family, and I just love how quick and easy it is. And popcorn is such an affordable little snack or meal, I guess, to go with a pretty nutritious smoothie. So also in this popcorn, I add some yummy butter, salt, and then I make another bowl that I separate this out into, and I add nutritional yeast. It's kind of got that cheesy flavor. You remember that Jolly Time flavoring seasoning that you can put on? We don't buy that anymore because it's not as great for you, but nutritional yeast is really good on popcorn. So that is our Sunday night tradition that we have for a meal, and kind of just something fun, something different, and the kids know what to expect. It was also very fitting to have smoothies and popcorn on this particular day because it was a hot spring day of 90 degrees. All right, the next meal and the final meal I am sharing is butter chicken or tikka masala with some naan bread. So this is a homemade gluten-free naan bread that I have made in the past when we had some guests over that uses Greek yogurt again. You guessed it. So I have made this before for people who really enjoyed it. And so instead of gluten-free flour, I used my freshly milled einkorn flour. And the naan bread you can get from stores is quite expensive. I like knowing what goes in my own naan bread. It had some protein in it. I could use my own flour and I could add my own seasonings. And the kiddos loved it. They like bread, of course. So when I can make it from scratch, I will, because it just has more nutrition. It is a lot more affordable. Again, my saying when I said it does take some time and forethought, though, definitely applied to this meal. So I do prep things during my kids' rest time that they have after lunch. So that is the time that I am getting this done. And I'm okay with cooking it and letting it sit for 3 hours before we eat, especially the naan bread, where I make my dish in the Instant Pot that you'll see later, the actual tikka masala to go along with this. And so it can just keep warm in the Instant Pot. So I think, like I said, just having some forethought, having some prepping done so that you can have nutritious meals that might be simple, but yet take a little bit of time are still really great. So the meat I am using is actually not chicken. We were given, again, very affordable because the meat was gifted to us. We were given some goose, some geese meat, because we live in like a migration zone for geese, and there's an unlimited amount of geese that can be shot in our area. There's no limit because they just flocks and flocks of them. So we were gifted this meat, and it actually kind of hides that gamey flavor. So if you're looking for something to use for a bird, try this. It is a little bit spicier, has those unique like Indian style spices. So if your kids aren't accustomed to it, it might be a little harder, but it still is so delicious, and I recommend this meal, especially with the fresh ginger, the garam masala. It's just a great meal that I like making a couple times a year for my family. So definitely some tips for being frugal in the kitchen is to buy whole ingredients, use foods in different ways than just once, and buy in bulk so you can use something once, freeze it, or use it again another time. Use what's in season, like those eggs or birds, certain meats, certain vegetables and fruits that are in season. Make sure you shop the sales if you are looking for saving money in stores. Use different ingredients than what's on the recipe. So if I don't have, let's say I don't have cilantro, for instance, I might substitute parsley. Or if I don't have sour cream, I use my Greek yogurt, or substitute different things in that aspect. So definitely be creative in the kitchen and with some recipes. I hope this was a kind of fun video for you to see different ways to eat for the spring with some frugality in mind.